everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we are making this exciting chic twist headband. This is super simple. I am using the Chic Sheep yarn here. This yarn is we just need one ball of yarn, actually. Not even, very less yarn. I'll get into the supplies and then answer some frequently asked questions about this super simple head wrap, and then we'll get into making it. So big thank you to Red Heart Yarns for providing this yarn today. I am using this yarn that is so super soft. It's 100% merino wool. And this yarn you can get at redheart.com. I think also craft stores like Hobby Lobby hold this as well. And these balls of yarn are 186 yard balls. You're not even going to need that much. You're not even going to need half of that. This headband is so small. Such a small piece, you probably could get 2 or even 3 headbands out of one skein of this Chic Sheep yarn. Now, the headband that I have already made here in front of you is made with the color suede. But today in this tutorial, I'm going to demonstrate using this linen, this off-white linen color. Okay, this gray color here is called platinum. And there's so many different colors. I think there's like 24 colors in the Chic Sheep design, the line. So make sure to check out all the fabulous colors. There's some really vibrant ones too, but I like these neutral colors for winter coming up and the fall. Just really nice yarn, and it's so soft and so warm. You're also going to need a G-sized hook, which is 4.25 millimeters. You could use a regular 4mm hook. Really, any size hook that you want. You can go up to an H-size hook or even an I-size hook. It just goes off measurements, so there's no specific stitch counts for this project. And this crochet hook that I have here is from the Etsy shop Would Be Fancy. This hook handle, I get asked questions all the time because you see me using this hook in a lot of my tutorials and all of my patterns. And this crochet hook is hand carved. It is wooden. It's an ergonomic crochet hook handle. And then you can choose whatever size hook you want fixed in there. And there's international shipping, there's right-handed hooks, left-handed hooks, all that good stuff. So check out that link in the description of this video for the crochet hook, and you can get the same one that I use. Also, you're going to need a scissors and a yarn needle for this project. We're going to need to cut our yarn and then sew this together and weave in some ends. So this piece is actually made in one long rectangular piece. I'm going to try to pull this out here. So it's just 6 rows of regular, just a long strand here, basically. And then we're going to kind of twist it and turn it around and then sew it in the back right here. And then we sew it along here to keep it nice and closed and fairly nice. And it kind of looks like a knit stitch too. We're using a slip stitch and a half double crochet stitch, and I can't wait to show you how to do that. So there it is. Big thank you to Red Heart Yarns for this yarn. Big thank you to my dad back there for filming, editing this tutorial, and taking the photos. And big thank you to you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our channel before you start. Just hit the red subscribe button. Put a thumbs up on this video if you like it, and we are going to get started and make this Chic Twist headband. Alright, let's start out with our color here. We are going to make a slip knot, so put your short end over your long end. Like I said earlier, I am using the linen color. It's just like an off-white color. So put the short end over the long, then fold that down, and then pull your long end through and pull tight. And there's your slip knot. You can insert your hook, and we can begin. So let's start out by chaining. I'm going to chain 165 because I've already measured this. Chain any amount. It does not matter how many. Okay, just yarn over, pull through, just like that. Yarn over, pull through. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. I'm just going to chain 165. That is going to wrap around my head twice, and there'll be like about a 1 inch extra. Okay, because I'm going to show you, I'm just chaining here, but I'm going to show you this headband here. We want to chain the whole amount. It's going to go from here around and then up and around. Okay, so basically twice around your head with a little bit of extra because this kind of knot looking thing in here it takes a little bit of extra room, and it's about an inch. Which is like almost, is about 3 centimeters, right? Is that an inch? So that is how long you want your chain to be, is that it would wrap around your head twice and a little bit extra. So I'm just going to chain 165. That will get me to about 44, 45 inches, because my head is 22 inches around, okay? So if you need to measure your head around and then go double that, my piece, my chain, this foundation chain, is going to be about 44 inches, a little more, like almost 45 inches long, okay? So I'm just going to keep chaining here just like this, and once my piece is as long as I need it to be, that will wrap twice around my head, I will come back on screen and we'll go on to row 1. Alright, just finished my chain here. I have 165 chains. This is what your piece should look like, just really super long. If you want to, at this point, wrap it around your head and make sure that it wraps around twice and that it fits around your head. Sorry, excuse my hook there. Okay, so this should wrap around your head twice, okay, just like that. So now, and comfortably, like stretched nicely, okay? So now what we're going to do is for row 1, we are going to go into the second chain from our hook right here. So the loop on the hook doesn't count as a chain, so count 1 and 2, the second chain here. What I'm actually going to do is turn the chain toward me, like this, and you can see on the back here, these back ridges, there's a back ridge on each of these. I'm going to work into that. So the loop on the hook doesn't count, so count 1 and 2. The second one right here. Go in. We're slip stitching across. So we're going to yarn over and pull through that, and then we're going to pull through the loop on the hook, but do not pull tight, okay? And kind of pull up your loop just a little bit like that. And then we're going to go into the next chain in the back ridge, yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook. Okay, don't pull tight though, because we are going to be using that, we're going to be working into that stitch next, in the next row. So go into this next back ridge of the chain, yarn over, pull it through and through. Okay, next chain, yarn over, pull through, and just that all the way across. Very simple, just like that. Okay, so I'm just going to do that all the way across, and once I finish this row, I'll come back, we'll go on to row 2 together. Alright, just finished row 1. So you can see that it's slip stitched across, not a whole lot of height there yet, but it will very soon. So that was row 1. You should have 164 stitches if you chained 165 like me, just because we skipped that chain in the beginning to go into the second chain there. That first chain we skipped, I know I'm trying to like show you here, that first chain we skipped, that's like right there. There you go. You can't really see it very well, but here, let me get my needle. So that's right here. That's not going to count as anything, okay? That's the first one there, okay? And this is our slip stitch right there. Boom. Okay, anyway, going on to row 2, we are going to chain up 1. So I turned my work here, so let me show you. We have our work like this. We are going to turn our work around, not twisting anything, chain up 1. And what we're going to do now is work in each of these stitches, but we're working in the front loop only. Okay, so I'm going to pull this out so I can show you exactly where to go. So when you look at your work like this, okay, we are going to only work, this is our very first stitch right here. Okay, so we just chained this one right here. My loop is right here. So this is gonna be tighter. There we go. Okay, so this is our chain 1 right here. We're gonna work into this stitch right here. This is our first stitch. And you can see that it's just this one loop. Okay, we're gonna work into those. If you turn this more towards you, you can see there's this loop here too, and this is the actual stitch right there. Okay, so that is our first stitch, but we're only going to be working in the loop that's closest to us, the front loops only. So right here, this front loop only, this front loop only, right here. Okay, but if you turn it more towards you, you can see these are the stitches. This is both loops, both loops, both loops, both loops, like this. Okay, the stitch, or the loop that's furthest away from you right there is the back loop. Okay, so the loop that's closest to you is the front loop. So that's what we're going to be working on this row. And this row is row 2, and we are going to be working half double crochets into each one of those stitches. So yarn over, go into this very first stitch right here, okay, right in the top loop, one loop, just like that, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops, and there's your half double crochet. So yarn over, go into this next stitch, okay, just that one loop, okay, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, okay. It should get easier as you go. Just yarn over, go in just the top loop, which is the closest one to you, okay, just like that. Top loop, okay, then yarn over, pull it through, yarn over and pull through all 3. And that's it. That's all we're doing for this row. Just very simple half double crochet, just working in that top loop, or it's called the front loop, but it's right at the top there, top of your work. So just like that. And then I'm going to turn this around here so you can see what it looks like. So that's kind of what it's going to look like. Kind of like knit look almost. Very cool. Okay, so that's what we're going to do for this row. So just half double crochet across just in that top loop, or the front loop of your stitches. And I am going to do that, and I'll meet you up for row 3. Alright, just a half double crocheted across, working in that front loop only. So this is what your piece should look like now. Okay, now this is going to be considered, I think, the back side. Yeah, I think it's the back side, because this front side is going to be worked like this. So we're going to turn our work around here. Let me chain 1, turn the work around. Okay. And now what we're going to do, yep, this is going to be the front of our work, because you can see the slip stitches ribbing here, and then you'll see these stitches right here. So what we're going to do is slip stitch across, so basically repeating row 1, but we're going to work in the back loops only. So what I'm going to show you here, in these stitches, you can see this loop right here doesn't count as anything, okay? If you turn this kind of toward you, you can see the actual stitches up here. Here's a stitch, here's a stitch, here's a stitch, here's a stitch. The loop that's furthest away from you, right here, this is all the back loop. That's where we're going to be working, okay? This loop that's closest to you right here, these are the front loops, okay? These ones we're not working in. So we're going to work in those back loops only, right here, right here, right here, etc. All the way across, and we're going to be slip stitching. So don't forget to work in this very first stitch right here. I know it's hard to see, but go into that back loop only, yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook, but don't pull tight. Okay, we're going to be working in that in the next row. So again, go in the next stitch, back loop only, yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook. Go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through and through. Okay, go into the next stitch and slip stitch. And just slip stitch across for row 3. That's that easy. So I'm just going to do that, and then we'll go on to row 4 next. Alright, just finishing this row here. We can go on to row 4. Now for row 4, 5, and 6, row 4 is a repeat of row 2. Row 5 is a repeat of row 3 here. and then row 6 is a repeat of row 2. So we're going to just chain 1. So repeat row 2 now for row 4, working in those front loops only. Now you can see here, I'll show you exactly where the front loop is, because this row is a little bit different than that row. Okay, so as you can see, slip stitches, you have to really turn your work this way to really see those stitches. So as you can see, there's your first stitch right there, there's your second stitch right there, third stitch right here, fourth this way. So I've really turned that towards me, because if you're looking at it this way, it looks like there's a loop here and then there's a loop here. We're actually going to be working in this loop right here. So this is the loop, the top loop right here, the front loop. Okay, this loop that you see in front of you right here, this loop is actually from the previous row. Okay, if you look at that, that's from the previous row. That's the one we worked in. Okay, so we want to go into this loop right here, right here. The top loop, or it's considered the front loop, it's the one that's closest to you on this row. So that's what we're going to do. This is what we're going to work in for row 4 here. Okay, and we are going to half double crochet into each stitch across. So yarn over, go into the very first stitch, and half double crochet. Okay, go into the top loop. I know it's really hard to see. There we go. And half double crochet. Okay, so it's going to take you a minute, a little bit of time, more than a minute, but I am going to half double crochet across for this row, and then you just want to repeat for row 5, the next row, you want to repeat row 3. So slip stitch across, working in the back loop only, and then for row 6, repeat this row, what we're doing here. We're just half double crocheting across, working in the front loop. Okay, so if you need to rewind this to see what I did, just repeat row 2, then 3, and then 2 again. And when I'm finished with row 6, because that's our last row of a repeat of row 2, row 6 is a repeat of row 2. And we are going to, once I'm finished with row 6 here, we're going to come back on screen, we're going to fasten off, and then I'll show you what to do next. Alright, once you finish row 6, this is what your piece should look like. This is actually the back side. This is the front side right here. You can see the bigger ridges right here. That's the front side. What we're going to do is just chain 1, and we're going to cut our yarn long for sewing. Just about, I don't know, 8 to 10 inches long, and then pull that through, and then pull that tight, okay? Now, if you wanted to go larger or taller, you can just repeat those 2 rows, slip stitches and half double crochets, just working in the right loops of those stitches. Just repeat those, basically rows 2 and 3 are your repeat rows for however long. But this is going to be double the size. This is not how thick it's going to be. It's going to actually be on this one, and so it's going to be double the size, which is about 3.5, 4 inches almost. So it's almost 4 inches, and that should cover your ears totally fine. So it's about almost 10 centimeters, like 9 centimeters. Okay, so that is how long this is going to be. Now, this is what it looks like right now. Okay, you want to switch it to this side so you can see this is the front side. This is the outside that we want to see. Okay, the side that's the inside looks like this, just super plain, and you can just see those. Okay, but this side is what we want on the outside. Okay, it's more textured, more ridged. So what we're going to do now, I have this super fancy balloon here that I drew, but you can use your own head or somebody else's head. I'm actually going to turn this around because we're going to be doing this facing you on the camera. So basically, if you're doing it to yourself, you are going to do this. Sorry, let me tape this on the table real quick so I can demonstrate. Okay, or you can do it on a balloon, totally up to you. Okay, so what we're going to do is take this piece, we have this big rectangle piece here. We're going to go from the back of the head, okay, the center of this piece. You can even fold it in half if you need to, make it sure it's even, just like that. And take the center of the back, go to here, okay, then come around to the front, okay, then we're going to crisscross. Let me bring this forward here, there we go, crisscross, and then twist. So this side is going to twist up and kind of set it up here like this, and this side is going to twist up and set it up here like this, okay? Now this piece right here is this piece, and you kind of just want to twist this so that it, oops, actually you could twist it around that way so that you see the right side, because if you twisted it up and saw this side, this is the back side. Remember what I said earlier? We want to see the right side the whole time. So twist these up, fold them, kind of situate them so we're both seeing the right side, okay? And then we're going to come back around. Now my balloon is obviously too big, so I am going to slip this off, and we're going to meet these two ends together here. So what you want to do is make sure everything is even though. So I'm going to slip it off of there. I'm going to sew these ends together. Now it does not matter if it's one side or one edge is bigger, the hole around here is bigger. I know I can't see it. There we go. So this hole is much bigger than this hole here, and they're going to sit on top of each other. But I'm going to sew this together first, and then I'll show you what I mean. So try not to unravel or twist it or anything. Just make sure you have it that way. That's how I twisted it together. And then I'm going to just sew these two pieces up this seam here. Okay, so I'm just going to go around and around. Just a whip stitch, simple whip stitch here. Nothing too exciting. In the back. This is the back of the head anyway, so nobody's really going to look at that. And I mean, I'm doing it fast for the camera, but you can take your time and sew yours closed. Okay, just make sure that that twist is still in there. Okay, and then to fasten off, I'm going to tie these ends here together. You can fasten off how you like, if you want to tie a knot in your work, or just sew in your ends. Kind of stretch it out, and then weave in these ends here. And to weave in your ends, you just sew it underneath the stitches, just like that. And this other one right here, just yarn your needle and sew in this end. Okay, but we're not done yet. We are going to still sew this together. So what we're going to do, stretch this out. Okay, so now it's all twisted and everything is good. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to kind of stretch so that everything is even. Okay, and make sure this isn't, it's twisted but not too twisted. Okay. Good and good. Okay, so now what we're going to do, this twist right here, it's like a Mobius twist, that's going to be underneath this, just like that. Okay, and what we want to do now is sew this side to this side along the center here all the way around to this side right here. Okay, just like that. So, and then this will cover this, and that'll be our piece. So what we're going to do, I'm going to set this down right here for a second. And I mean, if you don't want to sew it, you could just weave in your ends and just be done, and that's your headband. But I have this strand that's attached to the ball of yarn. We want to have it attached to the ball of yarn here. And then we're going to grab our yarn needle, yarn the needle, okay, and I'm going to start on this side, okay, and we're going to mattress stitch this. Okay, so to do that, we are going to go from the inside. Now I'm going to go as close as I can to this piece right here. Okay, and I'm going to go from the inside. Let me see here. Sorry, I'm trying to show you and do it at the same time. So we're going to go through this stitch right here. Okay, pull a lot out. There we go. Then we're going to come over to this side. I'll go in this stitch right here. Okay, and we went from the inside, and we're just going to basically do that like a shoe lace kind of thing. So from the inside out, and then pull. From the inside out, and pull. Okay, and we're just going to do that all the way around, and make sure not to skip any stitches. Make sure they are all lined up completely so that one side is not longer or larger than the other. You can't skip any stitches. Just make sure you do the mattress stitch though, because it's flat and you won't see it, because like the whip stitch you would definitely see like straight lines kind of down. So I'm just going to do this mattress stitch just like this all the way around. So while I do that, I'll come back after I do that off camera here, and then I'll show you how to finish this off, and we'll have our headband. Alright, I just sewed this all the way around. You can't even see my seam because I used the mattress stitch. Dude, I can't even see my seam. Okay, it's right in here. This is the seam row. You can't even see it. It looks like it's so perfect. Awesome. Okay, so this is the seam round, and you can see all the way around that it is sewn together. Okay, so to fasten that off, we have both sides here. We have this side and this side. Okay, so what we need to do, I'm going to go to the inside of our little headband here, go to the inside, and I'm going to wrap it around a couple of stitches, keep my finger in the loop, then come back through that loop, and then pull that tight. Okay, and you can do that once or twice. So again, go under a couple of stitches, pull that through, come back through the loop, and pull that tight. And then this end can just be sewn in underneath the stitches right in this row. Okay, and then grab your scissors and cut extra, stretch it out, make sure it looks good. And this side also has to be done, so we are going to cut this. This is attached to the ball of yarn. We're going to cut this and then yarn our needle with it. And if you need to do any more stitches in here, you can, but I'm just going to go to the inside of the headband. Okay, go around a couple of stitches here, keep my finger in the loop, come back through and pull tight. Okay, and like I said, you can do that once or twice. I did the first side twice, but this side I just did once. So then just sew in this end, go back and forth, make sure it is secure, stretch it out, and then cut any extra. And I've got extra yarn back here also that I sewed in from before and never trimmed. So make sure you cut and weave in all your ends, stretch this out, and make sure that the outside is showing. And there it is! The Chic Twist headband is complete! How easy was that? How awesome is that? So you can make, you know, a bunch of these. You can, you know, sell them, you can give them away as gifts. These are super fun fall gifts. Here's another one, and this one. And they're super stretchy too and super luxurious with the wool, the Chic Sheep yarn. Big thank you to Red Heart Yarns and Marley Bird for this yarn. This is awesome yarn. Make sure to check this out on redheart.com or at your craft stores. I know Hobby Lobby has these on their shelves, so make sure you check out all the colors available. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Make sure to subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. Check out our Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all that good stuff. Make sure you're following us. All the links are in the description of this video, and the written pattern is also linked back there, or in the description of this video too. Big thank you to my dad back there for filming and editing this tutorial, and thanks to you for watching. Until next time, happy hooking!